Hello, everyone, and welcome to Total Retro Entertainment and Technology. This is a second introduction that I'm creating because I really felt I spoke too quickly and wasn't clear about what my goals were in the first one. I'm going to set some guidelines for the channel, and we'll talk a bit about that as we go along. So, why a second introduction? Like I said, I've set the guidelines for the channel as to what I will do and what won't do. A couple of recent purchases helped define the guidelines, and I really wanted to clarify what happened since the first introduction because I really think I ran through it so quickly that people didn't understand what was going on. So, what will I be doing? I'll be doing gameplay of home computer games on original hardware such as ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, or Atari 800. Second, I'll be doing emulation of the same games on mini PC or laptop within a certain budget. You'll find out what that budget is shortly. I'll do emulation of other home computer games such as VIC-20 and Amiga on modern hardware. Now that is done because there is the C64 Mini and the Amiga Mini, and those are things that allow to also emulate. The C64 Mini also allows VIC-20. Also the ZX Spectrum Next also allows for multiple emulations, so we're going to be running. I'll be running that. I'll be doing emulation of consoles on mini PC or laptop within a certain budget. Again, that budget will be explained shortly. I'll be using other hardware such as handheld consoles, Nintendo DS, and handheld PCs to emulate games. Then I'll be creating a portable game system using RetroBat, EmuDeck, or Batocera or something like that. That'll be based on my interest. Now, you can buy these things. You can make your own. If you buy them, you're generally going to get a ROM dump, and it really creates a problem. I think that I can improve upon that just based on what I want to do. I also want to demonstrate virtual pinball on the PC. This is an interest of mine. I also would love to do some real pinball. I don't know if I can do that at this time. Maybe later on I can do it. I have virtual pinball tables. I can hook up a PC to that. And I can certainly make video from that. So what made me think of this? So this goes back to when there was a Kickstarter project for a handheld ZX Spectrum. Since I live in the United States, it was hard to get a hold of proper ZX Spectrum hardware since it needed to be modified to run North American electrical systems and televisions. The handheld turned out to be a scam. Let's be honest, it was only about 100 or so allegedly made. It wasn't even that. So I managed to purchase a Atomic Sinclair 2068 with Spectrum ROM, which allowed me to run about 85% of ZX Spectrum software. But then I bought a modern clone system. I later bought an actual ZX Spectrum that had been modified for North American electrical systems and televisions via HDMI. I also found out about a way to play ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and Atari 800 games on Nintendo DS using an R4 card and micro SD card. It works rather well. It'll be demonstrated in the next video. So why a budget? Everything I want to do can be done on a budget PC, either mini PC or laptop. I'll also be working with Android devices, handheld PCs, and handheld consoles, all within a similar budget, with one exception. You'll find out about that later. So the exception will become when it comes to handheld PCs, where the budget needs to be higher to make home computer games run well, since there needs to be a keyboard. I'll explain that. So here's the budget. All items will be bought at retail, no eBay or Craigslist for the channel unless it's from an official store. Chewy has an official store. Best Buy has an official store. Many PC or laptop manufacturers, Asus, Acer have stores on eBay, so that's fine. So for PC, mini PC, and laptops, a $300 budget for the item. I made some purchases that will demonstrate how this budget works. Accessories will be extra, but that will be explained. For Android, $300. The Odin 2 runs on Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 hardware. Retail starting at $299. Might go up a little bit, and if that happens, we'll make the number. We'll adjust the number. For handheld PCs, $400, which gets you a Steam Deck OLED or AYN Loki Zero. These can run most of these games without a problem. Now, an extended budget will be $700, as that gets you a GPD Win 4, which comes with a keyboard. I see it retail about $700. That seems to be holding right now. For handheld consoles, $250. This pretty much gets you any handheld console with games, or at least an SD card, so you can add games. Now, you might say, that's piracy, but it's hard to find a handheld console that does not have games on them these days. So here's a budget for accessories. If you're using a mini PC, a keyboard and mouse are necessary. They can be Bluetooth or wired. That can be purchased for around $20 or so as a combo. Mini PCs will also need a screen if you're not connected to television. I do think it works well with a television if you do it right. They all have HDMI ports. That can be purchased for around $70, but there are coupons if you look on Amazon that will reduce the price. I've seen it go down $20 or so to $50 for a portable screen or a 15-inch screen. That'll be fine. A controller is essential to make this project work. Wire will cost about $20, but the Xbox controller is a standard for emulation and costs $40 to $60. Depends on where you get it. Depends on when it's on sale. I say you can get it on sale. Go for it. That's pretty straightforward. You also need an internet connection to download the games. I can't tell you where to look, but a Google search will send you in the right direction. Sorry, folks, but that's the standard. And alternatively, you can buy a hard drive, micro SD card, or USB stick with games. Can't tell you where to find them. Do a Google search. Go on eBay, go on Etsy. You can probably find it. I can't tell you exactly who has it and where. So here's the chipsets for the PC at the beginning of this channel. For the $300 limit, I found that the i3 1215U can emulate up to PS3 with some Xbox and Xbox 360 as well. This applies to mini PC, laptop, and Chromebook. Chromebook only goes up to PS2 though, so take that with a grain of salt. PS3 is a little bit. I wrote that by mistake, so I apologize. I also have an N100 mini PC and laptop that will be used to demonstrate this as well. We're talking about home computers, so again, that can go up to PS2 without a problem. Recently, I purchased an Ryzen 7 5700U and mini PC and a Ryzen 7 5800H mini PC, each for under $300. And these will also be demonstrated in future videos. And these are faster than the i3 1215U. I also have lower end hardware since home computers have been emulated since the mid-1990s. I remember emulating ZX Spectrum on the 386SX in 1996. So there you go. So here's the home computers I own. And these are all from the 80s, or in one case it'll be 80s hardware running in the late 80s, early 90s. So first I own a ZX Spectrum modified for US electrical systems. It has HDMI and a micro SD card slot. Can also run programs on tape. I also own a clone that can run ZX81 programs. I own the ZX Spectrum Next, so I have that. I also have a clone. There was somebody who was making a ZX Spectrum clone that could be used in a laptop form, so I bought that as well. I own a Commodore 64 with a hard drive, disk drive, floppy disk drive, I apologize. Modified to run programs from micro SD cards. I also have a C64 Mini and Maxi, which can run VIC-20 games as well. I'm gonna do demonstrations on both, on all three. I think that any of the three will be fine. And I also own an Atari 65 XE, which is a newer version of the 800 XL. It's modified to run programs from micro SD cards, but I also have some cartridges I can run as well. I'd rather stick to cartridges with this because we're talking about 40-year-olds plus software now, or 24-year-old plus hardware now. So I think it's time to bring that in, and just try not to stress out the hardware as much as possible. So really, this is going to be a combination of the old and the new. As you can see, I plan on combining the old and new, but staying within a budget. Since I've already purchased several mini PCs and laptops, I won't be buying anything else in the near future unless it's necessary. I've got enough material for about 6 months or so, or more right now, and I probably could stretch it out to the first full year without a hassle. So the old home computers can run a wide selection of games and programs, and emulation expands the scope even further. Again, we're talking about, I'm doing this every 2 weeks, so we're looking at enough material to last for, I'll say for at least the first full year, and probably more than that even now. So while I won't run anything in 4K on the chipsets I plan on using in the beginning, I will do an all-out section, which is basically my personal setup. So I have much better hardware than what I'm using for the demonstrations, but I want to show, yes, you can do this on a budget. And then I can do a all-out go crazy format every once in a while. Once I have demonstrated each piece of hardware I mentioned once, I will use my main setup to demonstrate emulation at higher levels. So once we go through the hardware that I've mentioned, it's going to be a while. Eventually, I'll do an all-out section and just say, hey, here's how you can go crazy if you want. So thank you. My next video is planned for the fourth week of January, and this will demonstrate the ZX Spectrum on Nintendo DS, as I promised in the first introduction. I again apologize for doing the second introduction. I just felt it was necessary to make things easier and to clarify what the purpose of this channel was. So thank you again for watching, and I'll be back in the fourth week of January.